added that international women's down there.
That's pretty cool. You gonna talk about it?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I actually wrote a topic in about Steph Curry and the shoes. Did y'all see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Where's that at?
He was giving it to the little girls.
Underball's Life, number 3.
Yeah, he came up with some pink ones and some purple ones. They
Yeah,
got pictures of
but how it originated and the story behind it, did you?
Nah, I couldn't hear it. I was in the restaurant.
You must have just had it.
Yeah, this morning, maybe?
I like
Thank you, man. I like it. Let's go.
Yeah, I could talk about that. So.
Yes, I don't see it on the doctor.
Yours probably ain't updated yet, KT.
No, it's automatically.
Yeah, but you had internet on that one?
Where is it at?
That's right.
Yeah, you don't have internet.
Underball's Life, Steph Curry goes above
How you been liking that?
I see
X. That's an X Plus, right? X Max?
This is XR.
XR? Let me see something.
I mean, the change has been very good so far.
That's not very much different size than mine.
Huh?
That's not a very different size from mine.
No.
All right, so let me copy that and add it to it.
What about the buttons and they took see that's
Yeah,
the reason I hadn't updated mine is because I love the home
You
button.
just gotta scroll up. Yeah.
But you can put the home button on there.
You can?
Yeah. It's an option to do that.
Like it'll come up with like a little square.
A little circle at the bottom.
You got YouTube now.
Yeah, ain't no point. But you went from.
But when I try to, because I still try to sometimes. I end up using a Galaxy for like other stuff. Like I have like passwords saved on there. But like it's so weird trying to use it now. I'll be like trying to scroll over. Oh wait, no, there's a button there.
We need to think about another contest. I don't know. I mean, like,
well, we have the concert in 2 weeks. I already gave 20 tickets to a t-shirt.
Cash doll or whatever.
Asian doll. Yeah.
Asian doll. I'm sorry.
Daddy May.
It's gonna be dope.
It's so funny.
She is. She's beautiful.
She is really pretty.
So you ready? I sound terrible.
She got a song with Chris Brown coming out.
All right, I'm trying to get it together.
Get it together.
I'm trying to. My voice won't let me be great today.
That's that gator.
Why you didn't bring no tea?
Well, I had some orange juice. I had green tea. I've had water.
I told
The
you.
weather changed back and forth.
All right. So leave me alone. Welcome to another episode of Sports Life Talk, where life without sports is just talk. If this is your first time joining us, thank you. And what took you so long? And for our faithful listeners, welcome back. We got Serge in the house.
Hello.
We got KD in the house.
Hey, y'all.
And we got the man himself, B. Jones.
Yeah, yeet.
You gotta be extra. I didn't even see that one coming, though. I appreciate it. So, hey, let's start off the show by giving away the tickets for the Kodak Black. Serge, take it away.
Yeah, so we obviously had the contest running for, a few weeks, and, shout out to everybody that was following us and on our Instagram posts, liking us, making comments, and
Yeah, we appreciate that.
so
We're growing, too.
we're going to be announcing who the winner is later today, but, I got my eye on 2 different people, so, but glad for everybody that's been posting and commenting and more importantly, listening to our podcast, because that's most important, because without our listeners, we wouldn't be, anybody at this point.
We will be nothing without y'all.
So
we really do appreciate
So
it.
we're gonna announce it on.
Yeah, we're going to announce on our Instagram
That's
later
cool.
today.
That's
yeah.
cool. I like that.
Yeah.
What time do you think we can?
Probably no later than 5 p.m. Central Standard Time.
That'll be dope.
And then,
But they won't hear this
and,
by 5 p.m.
they'll get a shout out. They'll know how to, get their tickets and whatnot. And the Kodak Black concert is next Friday on the 15th at the Bomb Factory.
Looking forward to that.
You going, KT?
Hey, am I invited to go? Yeah, I'm going.
You going, KD?
I think so.
Okay.
Hold on, first off, Serge, can we come? How about we just inviting ourselves? Can we come?
Well, are y'all going to just come together, just y'all 3?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody I know will be out of town, so it'll just be me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be in Austin for South by Southwest. So if I come back, then yeah, I'll come.
So it looks like it's just you and I, B. Jones.
Cool.
KD, she's not coming.
So maximum 3, more likely 2. Yeah, that's fine. That should be
All right, cool, man.
All right, so today's episode is titled Ray the Gladiator, and we were debating between Ray and then the Gladiator, but Serge had a good point. Ray is the
The killer,
The killer, and the gladiator was
the NFL persona.
So we just combined both. So B. Jones, tell us a little bit more about Ray Lewis.
Raymond Anthony Lewis Jr., born May 15, 1975. This guy was probably one of the most prolific linebackers. I think if we had to look back at the position of linebacker, there are very few names that resonate. I can easily say, without having any argumentative posture or position, that Ray Lewis is probably the greatest Baltimore Raven to ever dress out. He has a checkered past, though, and that's what makes this guy still a great story. He came from the U, which anybody who's a college football fan understands. The U, the culture that they created. He goes over to the Ravens, and then in 2000 there was an incident in the city of Atlanta during the Super Bowl in which two men, associates of himself, killed another gentleman. And apparently Ray was able to skate off with just an obstruction of justice charge. They still looking for the suit, the clothes that he had on, which was supposed to be doused in blood. The knife had no DNA on it, but after that, right? So we say he gets off, he gets 1 year worth of probation, and he returns back to the NFL. From that point on, he became a 2-time Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, 13-time Pro Bowler, 7-time first teamer, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. And first ballot Hall of Famer, and I think it was 2017 because his last game was in 2013 after the Kaepernick versus the Harbaugh, the Brother Bowl, and that was his last NFL game. So looking at his career, it's just it's one of those things. It's greatness, right? And we compare that to some of the names that the media has really been hitting on, like Michael Jackson, like R. Kelly, like Bill Cosby. They were great at their form of art, but then they were, I don't want to call them monsters because I know some of these cases are still pending, but they had things on them that skeletons or something negative, right? And so that's just kind of why Ray Lewis is still in kind of the forefront. Every time we talk about somebody doing something, we know that if you can beat it, because that's really what he did. He beat that charge. You can still go on to have that second life or that redemption story.
Yeah, he's probably also athlete-wise, probably maybe number one, but definitely top 3 motivational speakers too.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, that's the thing about
he's amazing. I mean, like the stuff that he's done not only for his team, but he's obviously gone into other schools, like locally in Baltimore. He's gone to other college campuses. Obviously, he's gone to the U, but he's also still gone to other college campuses. He's even came into NBA locker rooms and gave speeches and stuff. So the way he motivates you, it's like you want to run through a wall for him.
I think one of his best videos is he was like, when he started, he was young because his mother used to be beaten a lot. He said, I wasn't trying to lift weights to play football. I was trying to lift weights so I can get strong so a man would never put his hands on my mom again.
Yeah.
And we showed that videos to some of our athletes, and I think it really resonates, man. But go ahead.
I was just going to say, this is one of those things that, do I feel like he probably has something to do with that murder? I don't know. I'm not going to put it on him or not. Yeah. But he is truly one of those individuals that it took his second chance, and he's maximizing.
Oh, yeah.
And he's really taking advantage of that opportunity to pay it back. So even if he was guilty, I think he realized his penance and, hey, I got to serve this. I got to do something. I'm not going to be in jail, but I am going to make sure that I let the state of Baltimore, help some of these rookies and some of these younger NFL players to hear what's going on, and he motivational speaker all around the country. Somebody asked me not too long ago, they said, who would you pick if you had to have one motivational speaker come in? I chose Ray Lewis.
Yeah, you got to go with him. I don't think there's anybody else that could beat him.
No.
I mean, Kurt Warner's pretty good, too. I saw him at the Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship. They had like a men's conference. Ray Lewis was supposed to be there, but he didn't make it.
Really?
Kurt Warner came. He was pretty good, too, man.
Drew Brees is pretty good.
Drew Brees is dope. Drew Brees is a good guy.
No, I mean, I wasn't trying.
No, I know, but we got to get some Saints LSU in here. Speaking of LSU,
all right, here we go.
Before I go into our other topic, let's talk about those cheating jokers.
I plead the fifth, 4, 5, 5.
You're not Dave Chappelle playboy. We ain't letting you get off that easy.
No, listen, man. I find myself.
I need to check your bank account, sir.
Yeah, really. I find myself in a tough position because do I think Will Wade probably cheated? Man, he probably did, man. I'm just.
There's no problem to it, but he's not the only one.
Yeah, that's my problem.
He's not the only one.
He's the one that got caught.
But this the thing, though.
Why FBI got a wiretap on him, though? That's what I want to know. Who gave you the?
Supposedly they were wiretapping the guy who was part of the AAU circuit. But that's where I think they should pay these kids regardless, man. Some of these kids come from the hood, and especially in basketball. Like football, they have a busy summer. They go into like 4 or 5 camps and showing out. But in basketball, they play year-round in gyms, AAU, team ball. And, I mean, sometimes these kids could have 3-4 games in a week. And then weekends, they could be playing, another 2 games. So I just think that, hey, if you got that kind of talent, and this will give you the opportunity, because they're not getting wealthy off of these little deals that they go into LSU or Alabama or Texas or anything. I mean, it's probably 75, 180,000. That's not going to, that's not going to be enough to live off of. So it's just something, hey, get this family tightened up and to get them in a position where they can support their baby. But
no wonder Florida couldn't beat y'all the second time. Y'all some cheaters, man.
But check this out.
So 2 and we beat y'all already.
But how does DeAndre Ayton get paid at Arizona? Nothing happens to Arizona. Bill Self at Kansas. I mean, there's so many other teams that's been tied up into this stuff.
Yeah, but look at Kansas now, how they look. They're not getting that top player, and you see how they're
but
the first time in 13 years they're going to lose the Big 12 title.
I think they're getting us because we took that Ole Miss route to where we weren't really a perennial powerhouse,
and
then all of a sudden you make that ultra change very quickly, and I think that's kind of what provoked them to come after us. But I'm like you, man, wiretaps. But you know what? I personally feel like we're gonna beat this. If we don't, I won't be shocked. But when you have him, like the key thing in this is if you can't find the cash, as long as everybody be quiet. That's why I said 5th. Because if everybody be quiet, you can't track nothing down and you can't prove it in the court of law. That wiretap, what he said on that wiretap was not conviction material. Any good lawyer will eat that up.
I don't know.
You don't mess with the FBI.
Yeah.
Now, that's the thing. It's the FBI, not the NCAA. That's the only thing that scares me is the FBI, not the NCAA.
Hey, just like R. Kelly, he guilty. All right, let's talk about.
You want to talk about R. Kelly? Because I think
we're about to mention them if you just let me get to it. You know what I'm saying? You always cut me off.
Well, I mean, you dropped R. Kelly.
But no, what you did, you actually led into that segment earlier. Then we kind of veered off on with LSU. But let's talk about leaving Neverland.
Okay.
And I want to correct myself because I said last week that Oprah was doing a show like a rebuttal. No, leaving Neverland is Oprah's. I did not know that. So she's the one that's giving all this dirt and having those guys going on there. So, B. Jones, tell me what you think about leaving Neverland.
The documentary was clearly.
Wait, let me cut you off. First of all, who thinks that Michael Jackson didn't do it? We'll start off with that. KD, did you think he's guilty that he actually had sex with these kids?
I think so.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so too.
You do?
Yeah.
All right. At first, I used to defend this man to the grave. I'm like, Mike would never do that, man. He didn't have a childhood. He was just trying to give back to the kids. And then I watched Leaving Neverland. And I know that they trained this guy, but it's just so detailed.
Yeah.
Where it happened in the house and how a mother was like, no, I'm not going to let you sleep with this man today. And then the next week, okay, it's okay now. It's just crazy.
And that's what I understand about the story, with now Michael Jackson and R. Kelly. Like, why were the parents okaying?
Because they were getting money. They were they saw their kids as cash. That's all that was. That's all it could have been.
And I think the parents should be held accountable in these situations too.
And then if you watch the beginning of the show, the parents are on there laughing and giggling and stuff no, this is supposed to be a serious documentary and you thinking about the good times before your kid was touched. No, I'm not smiling at all on this documentary, but B. Jones, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say I couldn't make it through the whole documentary. I'm gonna be
I didn't either. I watched 30 minutes. It was just too much especially when he started describing, hey,
must be rough.
Mike did this and yeah, it was
just beat it.
Well, that was one of those nights.
Serge, you're going to hell. And I'm pushing the button to make sure you get there for that comment.
One of those nights was my anniversary night, and I was 30 minutes into it. I was like, oh, well, so much, this night's blown. So I'm going to leave this Neverland alone, man.
Yes.
Nah, but they came out firing shots at Mike, though. I mean, from the point it came out, you already knew the road they were going. They didn't even leave you a chance to formulate an opposite or an opposing opinion of the situation. They made him look perverse, but he was weird from Jump Street to me. I mean, he's always been weird.
Yeah,
the nose, the skin color, how you go from, peanut butter skin tone growing up to, white mocha, a vanilla latte color when you get older, man. So I just always thought he was weird, even from the way he talked with the high pitched voice and stuff. I mean, but that was as a kid, we were like, that's Mike, this dude is bad, So my only problem with all these accusations against R. Kelly, against Bill Cosby, and I know what people gonna say. Well, times have changed and people are now feeling empowered. But why are we waiting until the money runs out before people start dropping dimes? That's the only thing that upsets me, because now the R. Kelly people are saying, the daughters are saying, well, yeah, we've been with him for a while. He bought us, and he said, I was paying the parents. As soon as they got 18 of legal age, I stopped paying the parents. So now all of a sudden they mad. So it was okay as long as he was cutting checks to you.
That's just
and now all of a sudden he's sick and he's a perverse person. But same thing go with Mike. Mike dead, now the money running out and they need money. So now they won't tell all stories, and they want books and documentaries and money to lubricate their pockets. That's my only problem about it.
But
man.
here's my thing. Elvis Presley did the same thing. And
So
nobody
tell me
brings
about
that up.
Elvis.
Well, you know,
that.
Priscilla Presley was 14 when he met her.
See, did not know that.
When she moved into his house. And from what I was reading, I don't know if it's true or not, it was more than just her. So I don't know why we're not going after him. Woody Allen, I mean, they drug his name through the mud, but he's still able to go out there and make movies now.
Is Harvey Weinstein in jail?
I don't think he's in
No,
jail.
he's not.
I don't think he's in jail.
But I know his name was pretty big. He started the Me Too thing.
Yeah, but it wasn't about kids, though. He was,
but no,
you know, that's
but it was
more
still
just
sexual
actresses.
assault.
Yeah, but
here's
the thing with that, too. It's an actress trying to break through. It's like, hey, if you do this for me, I'll get you this role. And it was some that turned it down, and then they got blackballed. Yeah, so that's kind of different, but I see where you're going. But I don't want to make it a race issue. But hey, if we're attacking these guys, let's get all the pedophiles out there.
That's right.
And I know when we were talking about R. Kelly, I think it was a couple weeks ago, B. Jones, you had mentioned that, like, oh, he was making, man, some of these tracks, when you listen to it now, it's like, man, he was probably talking about what he was actually doing.
No, he came out and said those songs were actually for every girl.
What about with Michael Jackson? Like, can't stop till you get enough. I mean, like, that's
you want to be starting something?
I want to be starting something.
I want to rock with you.
So is that?
That's a bad
are they both
too.
in the same like category? They're can be put in the same. I mean, I don't know. It's
I will say this on the beginning of Rock with You. He said, "Girl, close your eyes," and I think some of the kids had their eyes closed. They said that one guy said, I want to say his name was James Safechuck. He was like, I was asleep, and Michael, when I woke up, he said, I went down on you while you were asleep. So I can, girl, close your eyes. That brings a new meaning to that.
Okay, I'm getting a little uncomfortable now.
Hey. Well, you started this, sir. So how do you get uncomfortable about it?
Dang, Mike. Come on, Mike.
Hey, then we got to talk about ball is life. And ball, you know what? So let me ask y'all this. The Lakers, is the season over? Can we just wrap it up?
Oh, yeah. For sure the season is over.
All right, so let me ask y'all this, too. How will the not having LeBron in the playoffs affect ratings?
First off, I was told, or better yet, I was reading that the AAF on February the 8th outperformed the NBA on that Saturday night.
Yeah, that's true.
So NBA ratings are clearly down.
Do we know who was playing that night?
Yeah, it was like San Diego Fleet versus the San Antonio Commanders.
But I'm saying the NBA game. Do you know?
Oh no, I don't know. I don't know what the NBA
it was the
was.
Thunder and Rockets, I believe.
But the point I'm trying to make
it wasn't that the NBA ratings are down. It just football is still king. I think it wasn't like the ratings for the NBA game would have been probably almost the same. It's just football is still king, and it's just like another league came around and people still wanted to watch.
See, I'm not sure. You might be onto something with that, but the way the article was written, it was kind of making it seem like the NBA caught a bad year this year because people kind of getting that Warrior fatigue, right?
For sure.
They already came into it.
They
already came into the season saying the Warriors going to win the championship, and we had fun watching Durant and them play for 2 seasons, but this one's kind of a much. They kind of won it back a little bit when KD and
Draymond
got into it, but it went back to normal. And then the second thing is LeBron, like you just said, moving from the East to the West, and not just for team's sake, but for schematics of timing. Because the East Coast, they're not watching basketball as much as they would in the West Coast. They're not staying up till 11 o'clock midnight to watch the sorry Lakers and play whoever they're gonna play. So. Honestly, y'all know me. I'm kind of half in, half out on NBA. I like watching NBA, but only as a time passer, not as passionate as Serge is about it. But as an average fan, I look at the East, and I'm kind of getting excited about the playoffs. I was kind of hoping we would break down the East,
for sure.
and looking at the Sixers, the Raptors, the Bucks, and the Celtics.
And the Pacers are not bad either, even without Oladipo.
I'm not as enthused about the West, even though I do feel like the Rockets. I think the Rockets may be the only team that I still can oppose the Warriors. But looking at the East, that's going to be some fun basketball to watch that in the playoffs.
Because you don't know, because the last 8 years you're like, oh, LeBron's still in the East, so there was like a 90% chance he's going right. Up until last year, where it was kind of like, it looked a little shaky, but he still obviously pulled it off, and and the Celtics weren't obviously 100% healthy, but no, I think the ratings are going to definitely take a hit. I would say a good 10 to 20% from what they're normally accustomed to. It had nothing to do with LeBron playing. It's not about the playoff ratings because of the Lakers not playing. It's LeBron not playing.
Wow.
And when there's not that interest, like because you'll still watch other games just because LeBron's in the playoffs, so you kind of want to build up a story to see, like, hey, if they advance, who could they play? So now you want to see, okay, the team who's going to play LeBron's team because they've advanced is, and now that there's not that suspense, it's like, okay, we feel like the Warriors are going to go all the way, and who's really coming out of the East? That's what we want to see. And in the East, you're usually like, oh, chalk up LeBron and go to the finals. Well, you can't chalk that up because these 5 teams are anybody, one of those teams, at least 4 out of the 5. Any one of them could make the NBA Finals. And obviously, I know a lot of people say the West is tougher, but for those 4 teams, their road to the finals is also going to be really tough, having to play against each other too.
But I think that narrative just started after the trade deadline. I think when you moved Tobias Harris to the Sixers, you moved Miratek from New Orleans to the Bucks, and I think the Raptors went and got somebody too, that center,
Marc Gasol.
I think that changed the dynamic of the East, and it made it a lot more appealing.
No, it's still going to be, like, if you're a true basketball fan, it should still be exciting, but I know the average fan is not going to turn it on, and that's where you're going to see. And, you can never put a monetary value, but I think once you go through the playoffs, go through the finals, and then look back and see the ratings and how much money was made last year or the last few years and this year, I guarantee they'll be like, man, we got to figure out a way to make sure.
Right.
Don't be blocking no trades because we need LeBron at least until he retires. Like, we need him to be,
But the funny thing is, with LeBron, he's a Cowboys fan, and he has that same Cowboy effect. People watch the Cowboys to see whether they're going to crash and burn or they're going to be successful. So it's the same thing with LeBron. So KD, stop it. Let's get KD in here, man. Okay. So which one do you prefer, basketball or football?
I like both. I think I like both equally. But you know what? I watch more football than basketball.
So what's the appeal of football compared to basketball with you?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Is it because of their outfits?
No, it's not
their
builds. Outfits.
I'm just trying. I'm trying to dig a little deeper. I want to be like B. Let's unpack this.
What about maybe each game seems like it counts more in the regular season as opposed to NBA? There's 82 games. And
I think that.
What about the viewing experience of the game, sitting in front of your television, like with replays and the shot clocks? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes football can seem really slow, especially like during the Super Bowl.
If it's not a touchdown or a long play or an interception, you're like, okay, first and 10 or 2nd and 9. They got a yard. All right, second, and they do a check down 3 yards. It does kind of get a little. So that's why you need the red zone channel.
But that's why they started pass interferences. They wanted to be a pass happy league because an average fan,
of course,
like somebody who don't know the rules, don't know the players, they want to see touchdowns. They want to see.
So are you trying to say that KD doesn't know the rules?
I'm not sure.
I think you're taking shots. You're taking shots over there.
I'm not sure. I know she know when Odell do an end zone.
But have you noticed the guys that she likes? She likes Odell, Deshaun Watson. She hasn't really named too many basketball players. So
Russell Westbrook is my favorite.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to call you.
Not like Russell Westbrook. You can't really not like the way he plays.
Yeah, he a dog.
And I like his attitude. Yeah. The way he dresses, everything.
Oh, yeah. Did you see like the way he dresses? So hold up now. Him and Odell are the weird cats when it comes to like dressing and stuff like that.
I like it.
I do too. So I do too. Because at the end of the day, like, you're expressing yourself and being yourself. And then on top of that, people like it enough to where you're actually a fashion model. Run with it. Make more money.
So here's
Westbrook
my
is a fashion model?
Heck yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's got his own line under Jordan Brand too.
It's terrible.
I saw him push down 7-foot Joseph Nurkic.
Yeah.
Did y'all saw that? That was crazy.
So let me ask you this, KD. So is your complicated? They dress like that?
Is it what?
Your complicated situation is that?
No.
Did they dress like that? I'm just trying, trying to get a little deeper. I'm being messy.
Yeah, you're really trying to unpack, like you say.
Hey, we gonna chip away at that every show. We gonna chip away at that little bit closer.
You know what?
It'll all come out.
I'm gonna answer the question. Yeah, he does dress like that. His name is Odell Beckham.
Oh, see, look at you. Well, I can't stand you sometimes, KD. I thought I was better than that. So let's move right along. So Steph Curry goes above and beyond on International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Serge, take that away from me. Right?
So there was actually, this story was kind of leading up from last year when the Steph Curry 5 shoes came out. There was a girl, her name is also Riley, which is one of his daughter's names. Her and her dad went online to the Under Armour website to go buy a shoe, and she noticed that there was only shoes in the boys category and not in the girls category. And so she really is a big fan of him and wanted the shoes. But so she's like, man, that's kind of weird. Like, why can't there be shoes for girls? And so her dad's like, if you have a problem with that, then why don't you write him a letter?
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously not knowing what's going to happen. So wrote a letter, sent it to him, put it on social media. It went viral. Then I think the next day, literally, Steph Curry hand wrote a letter back and posted it and said that, we're going to change that right now. We're going to put shoes for girls on the website. I'm going to send you some shoes. And then also you'll be one of the first few people to get the Steph Curry 6s when it comes out.
Yeah, he sent her like 3 or 4 pair of shoes.
Hey,
so he sent her shoes, jersey, all this
hats.
stuff.
It was dope.
Yeah. And on Christmas, she got the Steph Curry 6s before anybody else got them.
Yeah.
So then what he did was, because they officially just did a launch, he, met with her and Under Armour, and they came up with this deal where they let her design a part of the shoe, so that when they released it yesterday for International Women's Day, it was like, they put certain quotes on there that,
I think he even girls ball,
girls
right?
ball too.
They were like purple.
Yeah. And so just, just going above and beyond, this is one of the reasons why, he's probably one of the most, likable people, obviously.
Ooh, I got a story about that.
In all of sports.
About being likable, but I'll say that for another day.
Because, people look at it, if you were to take LeBron away from the league, like who could probably be, at least for temporarily purpose, who should and would be the, face of the league. Yeah. He's definitely that guy, because you got, unfortunately, he's also set a bad precedent for a lot of young kids, because everybody thinks that, I don't have a lot of athleticism, let me shoot from half court.
Fire that rock.
And so that's the downside, but that shows you how much impact that he has. He's revolutionized the 3-point, and just to be able to know that, like, you can get counted out, or you can be not recruited highly, but still end up being one of the greatest players ever to play. And then let's see when he retires, how many titles he has, how many MVP trophies he has. Obviously, he's going to have the 3-point record that probably nobody will ever touch.
No. I think this is probably his last title, because the league is going to fix it where LA is competitive. So
KD's going to leave, and that thing.
That's what's going to even it out.
Let's just be real.
Okay, you better not leave, KD.
Hold on. They won it before Kevin Durant got there.
Yeah,
that's my whole grievance with Kevin Durant.
But they wanted it without him because
because Kyrie and Kevin Love were hurt.
Yeah,
you see what happened when they were there.
Yeah,
they still lost 2 games without.
But that was coaching too. If you get those other guys in, because Dellavedova and LeBron were giving them their work,
business,
and they got tired because it's a terrible coach. Yeah. Katie, let me ask you this: your daughter, she plays soccer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does she have a favorite soccer player?
Not really.
Okay, so we need to get her find a favorite soccer player so she can send a note and tell them to come on Sports Life Talk. We gotta use
beautiful marketing, wasn't it? That was that was great, gorgeous marketing.
Yeah, I mean, right on point.
You should just do it. Make her write to Alex Morgan. That'd be the best one.
Oh, please write to Alex Morgan. Oh yeah, I agree, sir. That's
for multiple reasons, of course.
For the love
or
of
Megan
soccer.
Rapinoe, it's cool too.
Rapinoe,
oh yeah, Megan Rapinoe. We can get her, but Alex Morgan. Yeah.
What do you think about the Curry 6s? Pair of shoes you would purchase? How much do they cost?
I don't know.
They're like 1 something. I want to say.
But
I've never
$200 shoes.
put on an
Nah, I don't
Under
think
Armour
it's
shoe, so I don't know. I would have to put it on and
He's
walk
not
around
with
in.
Nike, so I'll never wear that.
Really?
Yes, checks, not stripes. Right,
All right.
KD?
Yeah, checks, not stripes.
Okay.
We don't play that.
I like the
Checks
shoes
over
on the
stripes.
little article
That's
I saw
what it is.
on the ESPN. I saw the shoe. I like the shoes.
Outside of the Curry 3, which was disgusting looking, and it caught a lot of bad heat for it. But I mean, I haven't really heard any complaints from people that have worn it.
Really?
Paul George's shoes are very up
Yeah,
there.
a lot of the kids wear it just because it's Curry.
Right.
Now, they
exactly.
play in their shoes these days, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they play in those
Yeah,
shoes.
yeah, of course.
So we're going to write a letter to Steph Curry, too, so we can get some shoes.
I'm gonna write one to Aisha Curry.
Hey, now that was
you gonna write
Surge.
for some recipes?
Not B. Jones or KT or KD. That's all Surge, Steph.
When you write her, make sure she sends me one of those pot sets.
Okay, I will.
Well, see, we'll take advantage. All right, let's talk about Maya Moore. She's skipping the 2019 WNBA season to pursue ministry. It's like a dream of hers. So I just want to bring this up, KD, and I want to ask you this question. How do you feel about females who put their careers on hold? I know it's not Maya Moore, but for having kids and just for other dreams.
I don't know if I feel a way about it, but I guess if you're able to do it, I think it's cool. And I think it's cool also. There's a soccer player, Sydney Leroux.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like Sydney Leroux too.
She's pregnant now, and
Again?
she's
This
playing,
is her second.
Her second,
Yeah.
yeah. And she was in what is it, preseason? I guess maybe practicing pregnant.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, girl, I see you.
Yeah. It's just that's why women, y'all are so strong. I mean, look at Serena, how she went out there and was whooping folks, and she was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So let's go back to Maya.
Tennis and soccer kind of different. Is that legal? I mean,
Yeah.
It's a certain point where they would tell you, okay, you can keep playing, but then once that certain time, that week or whatever, you can't do it anymore.
Period.
Yeah. Because I always wonder about wrestling. Like women, when they get pregnant, you can't keep taking all those bumps while you're pregnant.
Yeah.
So that's just crazy. So let's get back to Maya Moore. What are our thoughts on that? On her skipping a year when she's at the top of her game to pursue her dream?
That's kind of tough, just because obviously you want to support somebody who wants to do something that they've always dreamed of doing, and they feel like that's their calling to do. And so she has every right to do, that and pursue something that she wants to do. So on the flip side, obviously there's commitment to the team. I'm assuming she's not going to get paid for obviously not playing, but outside of that, just now, I would assume that she's planning to come back after taking a year off. So that would mean our team, we're always competing for a championship, now not having the best player on the team, and it's not because of an injury, but it's because you're choosing to stay out, regardless of what that reason is. We're going to have to tweak our team to figure out a way to still, because we're still trying to compete for a championship, because they still have really good players on their team.
Lindsay Whalen retired, so they don't have that point guard anymore.
And so it's really difficult, but I mean, I support her fully for
you gotta support her.
For what she's doing, and standing up for what you believe. And at the same time, I'm pretty sure it was a hard decision for her, as much as this sounds great. She still had to make a choice, because there's a lot of people that look for her, and she's a big role model for a lot of young girls and stuff too. So now they're not going to get to see her on court.
So I'm thinking, as an organization, I would really prefer her be pregnant than to leave and pursue something else, because how about she loves it and she never comes back? And it's really a slippery slope, because we're talking about things with God. She's trying to learn the word so she can actually speak it more. So I don't know, as a team, I'm like, I'd rather prefer not. I'm not saying this. I'm just saying, I'd rather prefer her be pregnant than
or some kind of health reason.
Yeah, to just up and leave.
Yeah, you practice, you tore your ACL after the season. Okay, that's understandable. And then if you're hurt and because you're sitting out, well, instead of just sitting out and being with the team, let me just go ahead and do this. That makes a lot more sense than even, just completely just sitting it out. If she was maybe later in her career, maybe, but because she's still in her prime.
Yeah.
Her prime.
And she's been successful at every level.
Oh, yeah.
High school, college.
I mean, she's going to go down as top 3-4 players of all time.
You think?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I could go there.
I mean, Diana Taurasi probably still.
Oh, the White Mamba.
What about Cheryl Swoop?
No, Cheryl Swoop. She got Cheryl Miller. You got
what's up, girl?
Cynthia Cooper.
You got
Lisa Leslie.
Well,
Candace
Rebecca
Parker.
Lobo.
Candace Parker.
Yeah.
Candace Parker. Yeah.
So yeah, the
Sue
list
Bird.
goes on and on.
Sue Bird.
Oh yeah, Sue Bird. The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, we got to try to make up for last year's game.
Yeah, we went to the game and we got there like 5 minutes late, and
I think we literally walked in 3 minutes into the game.
yeah,
For this Mercury, we're playing the Wings. Like I wanted to go just to go watch. Diana
we
Taurasi
both
play.
went, and his wife went as well. So Diana Taurasi is on the bench. We're like,
Why she on the bench?
Is she
but
hurt?
she got a jersey on. Like you could tell that she was already in the game.
But she was sick, so she didn't come back in for the rest of the game. So Serge and I, we just sat there the whole time, just mad.
Yeah, no. After the third quarter, I was like, no, let's leave.
Man, plus the Wings were blowing them out.
Yeah,
so
they
that
were
just
up by
made it
like
even
20.
worse.
And I was like, no. I was like, please. I was like, please don't retire after the season because.
Yeah, so I'm glad we're going back to that.
Yeah.
Sports Life Talk. We're going back,
and it's a good atmosphere. It's a good atmosphere.
This Maya Moore situation kind of makes me think back of '94 Jordan
when he chose
decided,
baseball.
and he decided to take a hiatus and pursue. So I know it's like you said, it's got religious kind of ramifications behind it, but to have an athlete, and we all know that there's a certain shelf life on your athletic ability to literally stay at the best. We're kind of seeing it with LeBron now. It's a new body. We're starting to see him get injuries. Father time is starting to take effect. Even though he's still one of the top most elite players in the world,
those miles catch up.
Those miles catch up. So I'm kind of excited about him actually getting an early vacation.
Yeah,
and seeing what he can do when he can reset. Yeah, because he's literally been playing.
He's listening to all the naysayers what they're saying about him, that he's starting to decline and. Oh, he didn't take him to the playoffs. This is going to be an asterisk on his legacy because he couldn't take him to the playoffs.
But
I'm like, you do realize that he missed
and Kyrie. I think both of them are going.
Yep.
You do realize that he missed 18 games. I'm like, if the team instead of going 6-12 went 10-8, they wouldn't be in the position that they're in.
So you can't put all that on him.
But going to the Maya Moore, it's very rare that we see somebody take a hiatus at literally the precipice of their career. So that's but we see it in other form of industry, right? So I can see a CEO, for example, say, hey, I want to go a different route. I'm going to change over to a different company to start this startup, even though I'm the CEO of this major company. And as a matter of fact, the guy from Fox News left being the executive director at Fox News to go be a part of Trump's campaign. It's just you see this in other forms of business, but the fact that there's a shelf life on the athletic.
You said that T word? I mean, we say 4-5 on this show, man.
4-5. But you see it's the athletic ability that concerns us. So I think it's a good story. I also think this is a bigger knock on the NBA than it is on anybody else, because if Maya Moore was getting a decent check, at the end of the day, she's getting 125. What is she really passing up? Playing basketball for a year and the $125,000, $130,000 check.
She's already made her money overseas.
She's making her money overseas and on endorsements and other stuff like that. So I'm like, Nike. Do what you want to do and have fun doing it. The WNBA needs to work with the NBA better and figure out a better money situation. But I'm impressed by you knowing the starting lineups of the WNBA team. You dropping point guard names and stuff like that.
Yeah, they got Simone Augustus. We can keep going. I mean, you want to do that? But I don't. I want to end it with this, KD. So we know you're still trying to get your bartender's license, correct? Mm-hmm. So let's say that in this process, I'm not wishing this on you, that you got pregnant, and then you were trying to find a job. You know what I'm saying? And how would that affect your career as far as trying to find a job while being a pregnant bartender?
I guess I would go to, like a nicer restaurant versus, maybe like a club or a bar.
Yeah, because we know with the clubs, most of the bartenders, when they're attractive, which you are, y'all tend to, get more business, more money, things like that.
Extra tips.
Yeah, extra tips. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're beautiful here. I mean, that's just how it happens.
Like, I was supposed to give you a 10, not 100. Oh,
yeah. Bad. So I'm just saying, how would that affect you? And we know that would kind of hurt your money, just depending on where you would go.
But there was a movie where I was watching, and a lady, she was a real estate agent, and she was divorced, but she would wear her old wedding ring because for some reason she got more business because men thought that she was married.
Really? So
yeah.
I would think you would get more business without, because they think that they have a chance.
No, it works the same way when it comes to men too. I mean, I know I've had other guys who've told me who are married too that more girls talk to them when they have a ring on as opposed to not.
Yeah,
really?
I think it goes both
because
ways.
It's automatically understood that like this is not going to go anywhere. If something does happen, it's just tonight and that's it.
So basically, they want what they can't have too. So that's another thing.
Right. So they don't want any extra baggage. They don't want you to contact them afterwards. They feel like if you're single, you're just gonna be
we should
texting and
talk
calling.
about this when Pam was on the show. Put that right in.
But I've had a lot of individuals asking me about Ms. Beckham over here. They ask me, what's her situation.
So I wish I could tell you. I mean, she don't even tell us. I mean,
I'm not married.
Talk to him. Talk to the guys. Talk to the listeners.
Just give us a little something. Just a little bit more.
What's that Instagram at what?
Yeah, at KDeniseG_.
Hit up.
I don't know now. You
There's
said
KDNYCEG_.
Now, KD, don't make this more complicated than what it is. When you come in here with a black eye, we have to go jump somebody. You better stop playing. All right, so
my God.
All right, let's move on to sports and entertainment. And I want to talk to you guys about some students at Pasadena, California, at the John Muir High School. They staged a walkout Wednesday. Well, not on Wednesday, but they staged a walkout protesting a district-wide dress code that bans do-rags. So, I mean, there are a lot of things that you can fight for in schools, maybe better food, maybe better learning environments, but do-rags, is that something you really want to fall on the sword for?
No.
So I'll let
clickbait.
Yeah, and I don't understand, like, since when is do-rags, like, a fashion
well, in our
people
culture, it's just something they just throw it on and keep going. So
just reaching to be relevant or wanting to bring awareness to something, or because it doesn't end up being about the do-rag at the end of the day. It's all about like, oh, the system is broken or something is not allowed that it should be. Why is it something that other places allow it and maybe this particular school had something to say about it, or it doesn't matter, and obviously do-rags is obviously, and unfortunately automatically is affiliated with African Americans, right?
Yeah.
So it automatically goes into this, well, you already don't get treated fairly and all those regular things that I think every Joe Schmo knows that goes on. But I think when you're trying to reach a little bit too far into like talking about something that's really not that relevant, it's like it makes all your other point that you're trying to make to stand up for equality and stuff kind of really, it hurts the situation as opposed to help the situation. That's just my personal opinion.
So I'm gonna disagree with you guys on this one, and
not surprising, but
yeah, of course.
That's the deal. I didn't really prepare for a debate on this one, but I'm gonna say why I disagree, and if we want to continue, we can. But this is the deal. The do-rag, in our opinion, we're looking at it like who's wearing a do-rag in person, in public. But there are other cultures who can wear hair pieces and it not be an issue whatsoever.
But not in the schools.
Why they can't? So you telling me if I go to a school right now, there are no other
you can't
cultures?
You can't wear a do-rag. You can wear a headband. I know at my school, but you can't wear a do-rag.
So what's offensive about a do-rag?
Well,
it's just a headpiece.
Okay, let me say this.
So what does it matter if they wear the do-rags to school? They're not there for fashion statements. They're there for school. So if it's not gang affiliated or something like that,
that's what you could be leaning towards. A bunch of kids going there with red do-rags. Then what you gonna learn?
We assuming. We jumping off and we assuming. And I get what y'all saying. And I see what the kids are saying. Me personally, my daughter, if I had a son, I would say, son, that's just not. I want you to be more professional. I want you to represent yourself.
That's the key word, professional. So
I want you to represent this. But at the end of the day, if you tell me that I can't wear a do-rag, then I shouldn't be able to go around the school and see you wear your Nike ball cap because it's all just a fashion statement.
You got a good point, but that goes with coaching though. Wearing
the soccer team can't wear the headbands because it's all just fashion. If I want to represent myself with that fashion, we just talked about how quirky and weird Westbrook was. Now, is it stupid? Like I said, I would rather y'all stand up for the soggy, fries in the lunchroom or something over a do-rag. I would rather y'all come together. I think it's beautiful that a group of people are coming together and standing up for something they believe in. That part we want to instill that independence and that fight in our people. Like don't let people abuse you. But at the end of the day, they are right.
No, I can't agree with you because you mentioned the word professional, right?
So that's by our standards of professionalism.
Okay, so school right now, that's their job. Is going to school. So we're trying to prepare them for the real world, all right?
I agree.
So why not let them wear a do-rag to an interview then? I mean,
if they choose to go to wear a do-rag interview and they don't get the job, that's the lesson they got to learn. Eventually they go take enough beatings, they're going to say, you know what, I might not need to wear do-rags to interviews. But it's still their right. Because now you telling me, would you wear a ball cap to an interview?
No.
But you would let the kid wear the ball cap to school?
No, not in school.
Okay, so
unless you
kids
playing.
now, if that's the case, now if you tell me, hey, there's no ball caps, there's no type of headpieces, no headgear
Like
whatsoever.
I said, you can wear like a headband, but a do-rag, that's totally different.
I mean,
man.
even a headband is usually only worn to keep your hair intact, usually, right? And I'm not. I get what you're saying, but when you start allowing pretty much, irregularities in your school, that means like if I was in school and I wore my pants low, then it shouldn't really matter, right? Because you're saying that if it's showing professionalism, then I should have it in a decent place as opposed to just wearing it the way I feel like wearing it. Because we know off the top, like anything that has to do with curse words or anything like that is obviously just
taboo.
That's just not even relevant. But I think when you're talking about like do-rags, you're getting very specific into a type of form of, because I don't really see anybody realistically wearing something on their head that's like every day, unless they're Muslim people who wear.
Well, I want to say one thing. The do-rag thing is catching on to different cultures too, by the way.
Yeah, everybody.
So other cultures see what we're doing, and when I say we, I mean African Americans, and then they catch on to it. So I've seen videos of Caucasian kids wearing these do-rags as fashion statements. Okay, so like I said, I'm with y'all. But if we're gonna set a standard to say no headgear, it needs to be all the way around. The only thing I can see is maybe a turban, and because that's your religious preference, then you should be allowed to wear your turban. And if somebody say, "Hey, this do-rag is part of my religion," then rock your do-rag. that's part of it.
With that, then what religion? What they they praise a trick daddy or something.
Whatever you stand
in court for a long time.
But what I'm saying is if other kids can, because like Serge said, the do-rags are synonymous and tied to African American culture, and typically in the negative light, not in a positive connotation. Because when we see rap videos, we see guys on the corner. And when we see The Wire, we see them with do-rags and they're on the corner.
And other people are seeing that as well. So now they're thinking of you as a guy that want to be rapper or a thug.
But that's two different situations, KT. We talking about the educational side of, hey, you shouldn't want to be perceived like this versus the rights. What rights do I carry and what rights do I have? Because I don't agree with the pants sagging. But if that's your right to sag your pants, it's not me can come on and say that's stupid. Now I'm not gonna hire you.
Right, that's been in prison and think that you want some too, because that's the whole thing about sagging. So you got to be careful with stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
What you say? I need a new shoe.
Yeah, you gonna need a new shoe, man. They gonna get up in
there. No.
That was Sports Life Talk classic. What was that episode 49?
Was it
48? Go back and listen to it. KT with the shoot. It was hilarious.
That $1 million ain't gonna be enough. All right, so let's go into. I was gonna talk about Captain Marvel because I saw that last night.
How was it?
It wasn't great. It wasn't one of the best Marvel movies, but it was good, and it leads into the Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Okay.
And then, of course, the cutscene goes into Avengers. The
I'm
movie's
going to see it this afternoon.
Go check it out, and we can really talk about it because I don't want to give anything away.
You going to watch it, Surge? What about
Surge?
you, KD?
No.
What you got going on this weekend?
You don't want to tell us. She had a late night compared to what she's saying.
So my daughter is in, so my family's from South Texas, down by South Padre Island.
Oh, okay.
So my daughter left on Thursday night. So the weekend is a turn up.
Somebody rocking, knocking up.
Where's the invitation, man?
Hey now, slow down, KD.
Where's the invitation?
I don't know what I'm doing tonight, but I'll let y'all know.
Okay.
And then if y'all want to come.
I might be free today.
So
I'm going to watch Captain Marvel.
So go check it out. Hey, KD, this your corner. What you got? I mean, you got something for us?
I don't have anything for y'all.
Well, I got something for you. Will Smith is set to play Richard Williams. That's Serena and Venus's father. So my question to y'all, is that the right pick to play him? Because, he's a dark-skinned man. And you got Will Smith. I didn't think he was believable in Ali. So I sure didn't think he's going to be believable.
I liked him in Ali.
I liked him in Ali, too.
He was okay, yeah.
I thought that was a
masterful
performance.
I think we talked about this before.
He did good, but I just can't point and be like, ooh, he would have done better.
Your point that the skin tone does irritate me a little
that
bit.
For sure.
The fact that, because I looked at the picture after you said that Serena Williams and Venus Williams' dad is much darker.
Yeah, and it's like
it's hard for me to believe
right?
that.
Yeah. It's not even close.
But ain't y'all tired of seeing Marshala Ali on everything? He can't be
I'd rather see him than Will Smith.
Yeah, he can't do
Like
everything.
I said, when I looked at Ali, I saw Will Smith. When I looked at Ray, I saw Ray Charles. I didn't see Jamie Foxx. I saw Ray Charles. So
that's true.
That's why I wanted to go with that. All right. So, KD, your corner is closed.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
No, you good. Give us your yeet of the week, man.
Man, this is a good one, and I'm excited about this yeet of the week because it's been kind of bubbling up for the last 2-3 weeks. It started with Super Bowl Sunday, where they showed a commercial with this young lady in, and that's what piqued my interest into it at first. But Antoinette Tony Harris announced a decision to sign with the Central Methodist University, which is located in Fayette, Missouri, and she has signed a full scholarship to be on the football team, making her the first female skill position player to sign a letter of intent to play college football on that level. So this is the thing you got to understand. She is really good. I've actually seen some of her videos.
Yeah, we talked about it on a long time ago on our podcast.
Yeah, she nasty with it. And, I'm just thinking how embarrassed would that be for her to clean your clock? You coming across that middle with them alligator arms. How you going to go back to that? You're going to have to retire and
go pick up a basketball because you were done.
Or the quarterback that throws an interception to her, man. But she got good game, and she is exemplary. And so with that being said, Tony Harris, you get a yeet.
Hey, KD, have you ever played like football?
No, I've never played
You've never?
football.
Not even flag?
Not even flag.
Not even powder puff?
No,
like in high school?
Never.
Wow. You played any sports?
Any?
Yeah, I played soccer.
That's it?
Yeah.
Nice with it?
I ran cross country.
I coach cross country now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I played basketball. Y'all, I did not like basketball.
What, too much running?
I went from
soccer.
Yeah, I went from outdoor soccer to going indoor playing basketball. And whenever they the whistles, all the whistles, it was too much for me. So I was like,
whistles is too much.
Yeah, it was real. It's real loud.
Causes stress.
So when you play,
put me back on the soccer field.
All right, when you played soccer, were you a person that flopped?
What do you mean flop?
You know what I'm talking about. They barely touch you, and you doing like 8 rolls.
No, I didn't.
I'm a shin.
Well, you don't really see that in the women's game. That's more of the men.
Yeah.
That's biggest wusses.
Those guys from Spain and South America. They are.
You touch them like this, they get the convulsions and all that.
It's kind of entertainment value of the sport to me.
Really?
They got to be.
I can't watch soccer.
I love to watch
get
the
some
soccer
Oscar
goals.
awards for those, man.
Yeah, I can't watch it.
I tell you what, if we had to compare all of the different sports celebrations, like after a dunk, it's cool. You see some people.
Yeah, but you can't celebrate too much. You got to.
When you see a home run, you know they celebrate a little bit. The bat flip, I guess, is kind of famous.
Yeah, but then you get hit the next time you go up to bat.
End zone celebrations
are the only ones.
Are starting to really win me over. Like I get excited about watching what they do in end zone, but soccer goals. They score soccer goals. I mean,
even on FIFA, man, you can be doing so many different things.
Pandemonium. I mean, the players are going crazy. The fans are going nuts. I mean, that probably is the most electric play in sports is the soccer goal.
Yeah,
that's the most. They had a guy soccer on the show.
They had a guy this last week. The cameraman was behind the cameraman. He had a cell phone, so he scored a goal. Got with the cameraman, turned the video on, and filmed a video of him and his team. They was all celebrating, doing it like that, posing for the camera. It was crazy. That was dope.
All right, so let's move on to really quickly to something that is crazy. Well, I don't know. David Irvin, he posted an IG video smoking and saying he quits football. This was his quote. Basically, guys, I quit. I don't want to talk about a suspension and all this other nonsense. I'm out of here. I'm not doing this. It's no more. Dude. So my question, y'all, what goes into the mind of a player that just gives up everything, millions, for marijuana?
Man, I watched the video twice and caught a contact. So
you make your son going down his hallway. Yeah, be careful.
Obviously, at the end of the day, he has
up in here.
He does obviously have every right to do what he wants
he
to do,
does.
right? So let's get that first and foremost. But
yes,
you're obviously not setting the right example. Obviously, when you feel like you're given this opportunity, because it's not about the fact of smoking the marijuana. It's that right now, among other things, there are rules in place like anyone would have at our jobs, right? That these are the things you can do and these are things you can't do. And if you do any of this stuff, you'll either get terminated, you might get suspended or whatever, right? So, or you get demoted and things like that. So to not have the wherewithal and understand that, okay, if I continue to do this, this is the path that it's going to take me and I'm not going to be able to play. So it's almost like, well, I'm not going to probably play anyways. I might as well just say I quit. And instead of saying just say I quit, I'm gonna actually show people like, nah, this is the reason why I'm quitting is because, you know, their substance policy is, and then I know I see he's trying to take shades at like all the other drugs that they do allow, like Vicodin and all the stuff that really messes up your kidneys and your livers and stuff, which I totally get. But at the end of the day, until the rules change, which I think by the next collective bargaining they will change some of the rules on what's allowed and recreationally and things like that. You're fighting in a fight that you're not going to win because it's collectively bargained. And you know, the only reason it's even becoming a topic of conversation that it could change is because it is getting legalized in more and more states. That is the only reason that's happening. And we will come to a point in the next 5 to 10 years where all 50 states will be legalized for recreational use, and it'll be taxed just like, you know, alcohol is. And, you know, maybe at that point it'll be different, but you still cannot be inebriated when you go to work. I mean,
That's right.
You can't. That's the fear. It's like, we don't want you to come play being drunk, being high, whatever, but in your downtime, leisure time, whenever during the week, off season, obviously, yeah, you should be able to do whatever the heck you want to do.
So David Irvin is a massive idiot for this, but there is some genius behind what he does. Same thing about the kids doing the do-rags. Idiots reason, but it's good what he's doing because he's showing that in the NFL, there's no guaranteed money. So realistically, I don't know how much he would have made, probably $250,000, $300,000 this year. He's showing you like my beliefs and my morals are more important than the little check you was gonna give me. And to us, it's a big check, but to an NFL player,
feeding your family too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think he's making a grave mistake because Ricky Williams did this. Remember, he went up to Canada, and then all of a sudden he realized, hey, I can't live off of weed. I gotta make some money. And so he came back to the NFL.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask. Do y'all think he's going to come back?
Oh, absolutely.
In a couple years, because after all that weed, you gotta have plenty of money for food.
But the problem
you
is,
get hungry.
Now an owner has to look at this video and says, will this guy be the type of culture we want to bring in? Now, my only thing that heats me up about David Irvin is you were the first person that was willing to come out and say, I quit because the NFL did not allow me to do what I believed in, right?
But let me read what he said. I love football. I wouldn't be here without it. Don't get me wrong. I love football. However, I don't love the NFL. The NFL is not football. You need to understand that.
Now,
so he said that.
So you chose weed as a conduit for you to create this story, right? Why didn't you defend Cap? Why didn't you come out and say, because Cap was fighting for something that was real.
There you
go. Cap was fighting for equality, for people who were being murdered without weapons on them, for police brutality and things of that nature. So he takes a knee for the world, and nobody came out and said, I won't play if Cap can't play. But now you willing to quit over some weed. That's my grievance with David Irvin.
That's a good point, man.
Yeah. Outside of that, though, you had a right to stand up for what you want. Maya Moore standing up for what she's believing in. The kids in California, Pasadena, well, we talked about, they standing up for what they believe in. Hey, David, make that stand, but just be smart about it. Stand up for the right things. We need to start teaching people what's good to stand up for and what's bad to stand up for.
Yeah, I was about to give it yeet too. One last thing before, I know we were about to close off. Probably between now and this time next week, we'll probably, I'm sure, have an answer on this. Quick one, the team that you guys think Antonio Brown will end up being on.
Ooh.
I'm going to go Oakland or the 49ers.
He stole my two. Pick one so I could pick the other one.
Well, I can't be like you and pick two.
I'm
going Oakland. I'll go Oakland.
Yeah. You know what? Bump it. New Orleans. Who that? Let's go. Come on, AB.
They already pulled out.
Yeah.
They pulled out, but that was because the price was too high. Now they're changing it. The AB's another person taking a stand for something ridiculous.
I would like to see him go to the Packers, but I have a sleeper team. I think he might go to the Eagles.
Oh, please don't go to the Eagles.
I don't think the Eagles got the money.
No, they
you don't need the money.
Getting rid of Michael
they do
Bennett.
because the reason he's not going to Buffalo is because he's saying he wants guaranteed money.
I just was reading an article on this. It ain't about the money. I wouldn't go there either.
Of course.
All right, so I want to leave y'all with this. Behind every great man is a woman rolling her eyes. That's a Jim Carrey quote.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Sports Life Talk, where life without sports is just talk. Remember to follow and like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We hope that you will join us next week, and please tell a friend to check us out.
And remember, follow us on Instagram, Kodak Black. We're giving those tickets out.
Yes, sir.
No yeet?
Yeet!
Oh, that was late. All right.
Bye, y'all.